Good afternoon, and welcome to Building Success, Women Forging Futures in Construction, a timely and transformative webinar brought to you by the Markham Construction Group. As we celebrate Women in Construction Week, it's a privilege to celebrate the achievements and advancements of women in this dynamic field. My name is Dawn Meeker. I am partner in charge of the New England Client Accounting Services at Markham LLP and the president of the Professional Women in Construction of the Connecticut chapter, and I will be serving as your moderator today. Today we mark Women in Construction Week, an annual event that shines a spotlight on the integral role of women in the construction industry and emphasizes the growing opportunities awaiting them. It's a moment not to only applaud the strides made towards inclusivity, but also to amplify the voices of women who are building their legacies on the foundations of progress and perseverance. We're poised to dive into a dynamic panel discussion with pioneering executive women who have broken through barriers and are redefining leadership in the construction sector. With a focus on economic empowerment, personal achievement, and strategic advancement, we will unravel how the construction trades offer not only a career, but a calling for those who dare to shape their destiny within it. Today, we have three amazing and inspiring women who have taken the journey into the heart of construction. And I'm just going to stop for 1 second. Just want to definitely say that we have Kathleen Cloud, unfortunately, that she's having technical difficulties. She will not be joining. So we're going to have two women today to go over in the panel. And I would like to introduce to you first, Vincenzia V. Adduci, President of VAST Management and VAST Development. V, would you like to do a little introduction of yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Markham, for this invitation. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Vincenzia Adduci with VAST Construction, and our firm have two divisions: construction management, where we manage construction projects for government agencies, institutions, and private sector. Our second division is real estate division, where we purchase our own buildings, we construct it, and then we manage those in-house. And I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. The next one is Shalivia Baptiste, President and CEO of La Land Baptiste. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Dawn, and thank you, Markham, for this opportunity. My name is Shalivia Baptiste. I am the CEO and co-founder of La Land Baptiste, and we're a professional services company providing services in construction management and civil engineering design. We service the U.S., and our clients are in the private and public sector, and we focus on vertical construction and horizontal construction. I'm also a professional engineer and currently serving as the president for the New York chapter of Professional Women in Construction. Happy to be here today.
Thank you both for attending. Okay, we're going to start now. So pathways to prosperity is going to be our first topic. A little bit of change because Kathleen couldn't join. So we'll have to see. Maybe we'll have to throw a question we didn't prepare for, but we'll see. So we're going to start with this one. Can you describe a moment in your career when you realized that the construction offered you a path to financial security? And V, I'm going to pose that towards you.
Yes, Dawn. I've always loved construction. I think I grew up in a construction family back in Ghana, West Africa. And when I started the business, especially, you don't know which direction you're going and if it's going to succeed, but you have hopes, aspiration, and you are very confident that it's going to work. So you start small. But I think the pivotal moment when I realized that the construction did offer a pathway to financial security is when we were taking on projects where we were working with the government agencies and the institutions, and being able to bring these projects in even ahead of schedule, or being able to be detailed with the projects and getting continuous work as a result of that, realizing that this is definitely a great pathway to financial security. So we stuck with it. But I think it was at the point when we were continuously doing projects with large institutions and also some smaller or mid-business private firms that we realized that this industry, not only does it project growth, but also it does project financial security in the industry.
Shalivia, would you like to speak about this? I'm going to re-say it to you, okay?
For me, my journey has been a little bit different. I pursued civil engineering because I desired to. It wasn't really a financial decision for me. When I think back to when I was in college, if I thought of pursuing, like going after the money, it would probably have been computer programming because that was the big thing then. But that hasn't been my journey. My thing has always been work at what you like and the money will come.
Definitely a good approach. So we're going to go to the next question. And V, this is directed towards you. As we discuss the various pathways to success within the construction industry, a common perception is that a traditional four-year college isn't always a prerequisite for a successful career in this field. With a range of roles from skilled trades to project management, the construction industry seems to offer opportunities for those with different educational backgrounds and certifications. With that in mind, is it true that entering a career in construction doesn't necessarily require a traditional college degree? Can you elaborate on the types of qualifications, trainings, or experience that are considered valuable in this industry and how they can lead to a prosperous career path?
Definitely a lot of questions in one question.
I know. So
but I understand. I just want to make sure that I frame in such a way that it makes sense. It is true that entering a career in the construction industry doesn't require a traditional degree, but to a certain extent, right? Because there's so many different facets in construction. So it depends on the role or the venture, how you venture into the industry. Certain training might be required, right? So if you are an organization that is venturing into the electrical engineering, whether it be civil engineer, structural engineer, the mechanical, the specialized skills, you definitely do need the specialized training skills because, as you know, you are not going to hire an electrician that does not have some kind of a training on how to wire the stuff. So those are important. However, I will say that I have a master's in business administration. So I think leading a company such as Vase Construction, having that master's degree in business and running a business, it does help. I think it doesn't help, let's say, making a business successful because business is about trials and tribulations. There's so many facets that's going on every single day. So you find yourself, whether it's dealing with the day-to-day, the work itself, the staff, the CPAs, the legal, your accountant, there's so many aspects that comes in it. So I think for me, it did help that I did get a master's in business. It did help that I learned a bit of a business law while I was in college and while I was doing my master's. But I also think that we know of great folks such as whether it's Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg or any of those people that did not finish college and still run a very successful business. So I think it depends on how you venture into the industry. If you're venturing into the business aspect of it, running a company, a lot of it is about arts and creativity and the drive and perseverance and just learning by just being in the industry long enough to learn every single day. What I know now, I did not know over 10, 12 years ago when I started. I've learned so much more. I can walk into a building and I might see something that someone that started yesterday may not notice because I've seen it so many, many times, whether it's a high-rise building we're doing or an infrastructure work that we're doing. So for that reason, I would say that you don't necessarily need a college degree. You can get into business and be very successful just by going into it, learning hard, working hard, not giving up, and going by the trials and tribulations. But I will also say that if you're getting into the industry with a very specific skills, especially in our industry, we call it the MEP, which is all facets of the mechanical, plumbing, electrical, those things, you do need a specialized training to be able to do it efficiently. And that is why they have apprenticeship programs, they have the unique schools to teach them to doing so. So I think in conclusion on that, on the management and business aspect of it, you learn by just learning and working in the industry long enough to be able to understand how it works. On the specialized skills, you would definitely need the training required to do the detail day-to-day of the particular trade that you're working in. Hopefully that answers the question.
Well, on the job training, you learn so much more too, right? Just daily.
Absolutely.
You learn
Absolutely.
things you don't realize you're going to learn, you learn. It's just amazing just being involved in it and being around, in the field.
That's correct.
I believe Kathleen Cloud just joined, correct, Kathleen?
Yay.
Yes, I am here. Sorry that I had a little technical difficulty
You're
there.
muted.
So on the computer,
That does happen in
I'm muted.
this day and age. But so anyway, I would
Oh,
like
yes.
to introduce Kathleen Cloud. She's a president and co-owner of M. Frank Higgins and Company, Inc. Just want you to just tell them a little bit about yourself, Kathleen?
Okay, everyone can hear me okay, I hope. So,
Yes, we hear you.
yes, I'm Kathy Cloud, and I am the president of M. Frank Higgins. It's a commercial flooring company. We do a lot of large-scale projects, and I've been part of the team here for 13 years, the past 13 years.
Perfect. Okay, well, lucky enough you just joined now, and the question that I'm going to pose now is right towards you, Kathy, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. Okay, what economic advantages and job stability aspects do you believe the construction trades uniquely provide, especially for women entering this field?
Well, I think as far as economic advantages are, and I think I heard a little bit of, I think was Z maybe that was speaking. To me, a lot of this is your hard work can directly correlate to your rising up in the construction industry, and that of your team and helping with the team. And I think those for job stability, I think there's so much to offer because construction industry is not going away, especially, commercial. We saw things happen, with all the craziness that's gone on. Residential was huge during the pandemic and then commercial, but we always need buildings to be constructed or renovated. And so I think just that alone, there's a lot of job stability because it's always going to be a factor, And where I think also is great economic advantages, and particularly for women, are leadership opportunities. I think our country, and it's been showing as the country is ripe for leadership opportunities for women and hardworking women. You got to still put the time in. You can't just do it just because you're a woman. But I think there's those who are willing to work hard and put the time in will have lots of exposure as for leadership, to be a mentor or mentee, and we have to be comfortable asking for that. If you want to be mentored, reach out to people. It is scary a little bit, but there's so many other women and men that want to see that you rise. So I think it's just the economic opportunities are really endless.
Thank you. We're going to go to the next section now, which is executive insights. So I'm going to go to Shabilia first. We're going to go to, can you share a pivotal challenge you faced on your journey to become an executive in construction and how you overcame it?
Thank you, Dawn. So for me, a pivotal challenge has been when they hear, okay, you're the CEO of a company. It's like, okay, but who's behind it? Is it your brother? Is it your father? Is it your husband? And in my case, it's me. Like, I am the PE, I am the civil engineer. I know the industry. I'm the one that's put in the work. And in those times, it becomes surprising to the individual, like, wait a minute. And it also opens the opportunity for a conversation. Well, how did you get here? And then I talk about my journey. And I think over time, like, I choose to speak up for myself and not get kind of lost in the thought of, well, it's probably a male behind this and she's just the face, she's just the wife or such.
V, that one.
I think similarly, I think on the day-to-day basis, I think more than 95% of the time, I step into the room, I am typically the only woman in there. So whether we are in the field doing a job meeting or we are going to a prospective clients meeting, especially in the field. So you do notice that you are the only female. I think that you can tell that other people are seeing you as you are the only female because they make it so. But I think that in all of that, they may assume initially that you don't know because you're in a strange industry and women just could not know a bit about construction. But I think for me, you overcome it by just consistently executing the job, right? Consistently executing the job. I remember when we were part of the team that were hired on the Hurricane Sandy project for the state of Connecticut. This was actually the only female general contractor that was among the probably 15 to 19 GCs that were selected from the state. Now, VASE, similar to Shivani, VASE is 100% female and minority owned. Yes, there are no business partners here. So our partners for me is my wonderful staff that I work with, our estimators, our project managers, our superintendents, our project engineers, the team, the full-time staff that work with us and do an amazing job. So yes, it's understood that you don't know. But I think when you consistently shows up and you've been doing it, in our case, we've been doing it for many, many years. We've finished hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of projects over the past 10 or more years. I think people start to realize, oh, okay. But I think for us, that happened a while ago, but it wasn't always like that. I think we had to prove ourselves. We had to go in, we had to do a good job. Construction is not easy. I think in our role as a construction management firm, being an organization that organizes not only all of the different aspects of the trades from the site work all the way down to the electrical, plumbing, and the rest of the construction divisions, you are dealing with a number of companies. I think they see how we work, they see our approach, and we've earned that respect over the past few years. So it doesn't, for those that know us, it's not about, this is a female-owned business. It's about they can do a great job. So I'm good with that. I like where we've come. But I think any woman that gets into the construction industry that are going to be new, it is to be expected because the construction is more than 90%, especially depending on which industry that you're in, it's more than 90% dominated by the male industry. And you just have to overpass that and just do a great job consistently.
Look at the company name and not just worry that it's a woman behind it. There
That's
you go.
correct.
Thank you. The next question. What strategies do you believe were most crucial in helping you succeed and rise to the top in a male-dominated industry? Shivilya, you can check with that one first.
Okay, so for me, determination, I think it was the first thing for me. Just knowing that this was my calling to be a civil engineer, and that's helped me through the hard times. If I look back on the different struggles and obstacles that I faced, if I didn't know I was called to do this, it would be so easy to give up. So I think determination is key entering this industry. The second thing I would say is mentorship. Finding mentorship from leaders that are at the place where you want to be. And mentorship can be from a male or a female. It doesn't have to be only a female, but it's important that this individual is invested in you and you are willing to learn and grow. And also understanding that the mentorship relationship can evolve. You can outgrow your mentor, and that's okay. You seek another one and you keep growing. There's also, the last thing I would say on this is persistence and practice. It's very important to be persistent in this field and to practice your craft. It's not just enough to show up, like V said, but to consistently show up in excellence. providing a level of service. So when you are hired and you're on the project, they know that the Land Baptiste performs at this level and we have nothing to be worried about. So I would say strategies to help you to continue to succeed are determination, mentorship, persistence, and practice.
Thank you. V, your thoughts on this one?
I definitely echo the mentorship. I think is very critical. We've been blessed that we have a number of mentors that we can reach out to, even if it's just a one question that you ask. And we don't think we give enough credit to those that do give up their time to answer a question here or question there to help us to grow in this industry. So that's one. It's crucial to helping to succeed. I also think that women bring just a different. I won't say it's good or bad, but it's just a different perspective into the construction industry. We're not equal as far as the gender is concerned, right? At least I'm not equal to the man, because women, we are naturally nurturing, right? So I think we bring that into the work field, and I think sometimes it shows the company, right? I think a lot of the companies that we work with, whether it's our trades, the subcontractors, or the vendors, or the architects, or the engineers, or just all of the community that transport into building this great industry. I think they see our company as a company that's very nurturing, and whether it's reminding somebody about stuff that's happening, whether it's bringing them to the office so that we can figure out if there's an issue, how we work on that together, just building that nurturing and lasting relationship, because we typically don't work with a company thinking that it's a one-off. We work with a company because we think they're a family. And I think what women do good with families is that they nurture it. And I think as a women-owned business firm, we bring that to the company. So whether you're dealing with myself, who's the president, or our chief estimator and operations manager, or our executive office assistant, or anyone that is a part of, even going down to the superintendents and the project managers, you see that we carry that same forward, making sure that the subcontractors that work on our projects, the other thing you have to think about is that as a construction management firm, every project that we're doing, we're working with a minimum 6 different subcontractors. They're not all the same. So right now, if we're working on about 10 or 12 different projects, we're working with about 50 to 113 different subcontractors. That's a lot of companies to have to manage. So I think as we try to believe that as a women-owned business, and we have executives that are on the administrative aspect of the business, whether it's the accounting or the operations, and they also carry that forward. They really guide, especially some of our smaller businesses, to make sure that they're going through the process and we're working with them. So I think the strategies that I believe is most crucial is to helping us in the male-dominated industry. It's the mentorship, it's the nurturing that we bring, it's the leadership, it's the transparency that we bring into the industry. I find that transparency is extremely, extremely critical. We bid competitively when we are going for work with major companies or government agencies, but vice versa, we do the same thing when we are asking subcontractors to give us numbers. One of the things that we do is transparency. So if we got 4 or 5 numbers from electrical contractors, we are not shy about sharing the data with the contractors. This is why we hired you, because you are the lowest responsive qualified bidder in that order. So you can be low, but if you're not qualified, we will not hire you. But as long as you submitted a price to us, and as long as you are qualified, we are going to work with you. And we will tell the other person that did not get the job why they didn't get the job. So that transparency, I think, really also help us to grow, and we continue to thrive on that.
Thank you. We're going to go to our next subject now, which is breaking barriers. Shalivia, this is going to go towards you, okay?
Okay.
What are some of the most common barriers that you see women facing in the construction industry? And how have you addressed these challenges in your career?
So what I've noticed is sometimes women don't advocate for themselves. And you have to especially in this industry, you have to advocate for your voice to be heard in a world filled with so many voices so that you're not overlooked or you're not prejudged. Sometimes in a meeting, it may require you saying things repeatedly or in different ways. What I've begun to notice is sometimes the way you think of something and you say it is not how it's received or interpreted. And it's important to not see that as, oh, well, maybe the audience or the group or the team that I'm a part of doesn't value me. It could just be simply they misunderstood what you said. So advocating and making sure your voice is heard and making sure your point is clear and it's received is the way to break down that barrier.
Thank you. The next question, Sheila, for you again, so there we go. Okay. How do you cultivate resilience in face of industry obstacles? And can you share a time when this resilience led to a sense of accomplishment in your role?
So I believe that one can cultivate resilience in the face of industry obstacles by aligning themselves with industry organizations. And for me, that brings a place of belonging. And for me, those organizations are Professional Women in Construction, the American Council of Engineering Companies, and PwC in particular takes the mission of connecting women to business. And within that organization, we have committees and subcommittees that create depth to that mission of connecting women to business. And this is important, especially as a female in the industry. Sometimes what I've noticed is it's common for us to think that whatever we're going through or dealing with is new. No one has faced this ever before. This is only happening to me. And having community in these organizations show you, no, this is not new under the sun. There is a pathway. Another individual has experienced this. And guess what? They have the playbook. This is what you need to do to get out of this and rise above this. So I think it's very important to align yourself with the industry organizations that support you and support the work that you do.
Thank you. You know, I'm very involved in the Professional Women of Construction too, so I feel the same way. It's a very great community that you all learn from each other, and definitely grow together as well. So, definitely. The next area we're going to speak about is training and advancement. And Kathy, this is going to go towards you. In your experience, what training programs or apprenticeships are most valuable for women looking to establish themselves in construction?
Well, I think this is a very varied answer depending on what level you're coming in at. So just we'll kind of go up in order. If in a trades, we're very proud that we are getting more women in our trade for in commercial flooring, and that is through us. It's through the union apprenticeship program. But then we're giving them a shot in the field, you know, and we're thrilled, and it's been really a great thing to see all of our installers that interact with more women. You know, we get more women in the field, and it's been positive, I think, on both sides. As V pointed out, you know, that nurturing side of women has actually enhanced the work environment. So definitely there's apprenticeship programs, whether you're union or non-union, to get into if a trade is something you want to go after, even right from, you know, high school, and there's, you know, even technical schools that do that. On as you grow in the business, there's all kinds of leadership training opportunities and project management training opportunities, whether it's even our local, you know, Central Connecticut has a wonderful program, and they do programs. The Construction Institute is a great resource that runs training programs, some virtual and some in person. And then I'm big, and I know it was said before, on mentor-mentee. So we have hosted people here from different colleges to do some internship type of things, whether it's in the marketing field, whether it's going on job sites and estimation field, and the management, just to see. So I think someone said earlier, you need to be an advocate for yourself, though. You know, you're not alone. There's so much out there where you can get. We're very happy that we continually train our employees at all levels, and whether it's a leadership training or more training for our installers in the field and everything in the middle. So I think either the companies have to support training and want it continuously. It's not one and done. It's a life thing. And the woman that's in construction or wants to be, needs to advocate for it and see if she can find someone to help her with mentoring and training and internship and that kind of thing.
I do have another question. I'm just going to throw at you that we haven't spoken about before. What is the percentage of women joining your trade now? Did you have like a statistic on that? Just curious. Do you see?
I don't. Yeah. For the carpenters itself, overall, it is still in the single digits. I don't know if it reached quite 10%. I think it's around 9%, but it is growing. I mean, it's doubled in the last, I think, 4 years, they said, or since the pandemic. Pandemic actually, for whatever reason, helped grow more women in the trades. I don't know why, really. I don't really know. Maybe college or wasn't, I don't know. But we've had, they doubled the percentages. So it is getting there. We see less in our industry of the flooring because, I don't know, maybe it's not as advantageous, to work on the floors. Maybe wall work, it might be better or what. And we worked, with V on some projects and I think, I think just being there and helping anything you go, I've gone on in conjunction with the union to high schools to try to recruit. Also, and to show what the path is, because you can start anywhere and grow. It's a great profession if you can get started and get in it, and it can be very lucrative as well.
Yeah, maybe that's definitely a good idea. So reach out to the high school students because they're not even aware of that. I'm sure that's even an opportunity that they could maybe enter. So it's definitely a good place.
Yes, and so there are other programs afoot for a lot of where there are a bunch of things. And I'm also on CREW Connecticut. I'm on the board of CREW, Construction Real Estate Women, and we are also reaching out to the colleges and the high schools, which trying to get information about the construction real estate job market, and the opportunities there exist in all kinds of facets of construction.
Thank you. The next question, V, you will take this one first. How can women best take advantage of educational opportunities to advance their construction skills and knowledge? And what advice would you give someone just starting out?
I will go back to when we talked about the mentorship. I think the mentorship is very important. A lot of the education opportunities I've had have come as a result of a mentor recommending me to check something out, and it turns out to be great. So let's start with the Professional Women in Construction, for which you and Shavana are very much involved in. You guys offer tremendous support to women in the construction and AE industry. I think that the educational programs that you have really does make an impact in this industry. There's also the Minority Construction Council, which is an organization that provides education to minority contractors in the state. There's also the Women's Business Development Council, which provide counseling and advisory to women in the industry. And I mention all of these because I've been affiliated with all of these industries, and I know how wonderful they are and how much they've attributed to this and outgrowth. So I think on the educational aspect of it, you have to find what organization may best suit what you're looking to do. And if you're not sure of it, you talk to your mentors, and they may recommend somebody or an entity or an agency organization for you. And from there, I find that the education and the resources that I've received or I've seen has been tremendous. Of course, one of the things I also like is I like reading a lot. So I read books that I find to be interesting or relating to my field or the growth of which way I'm going to. And by reading those relevant books, I can learn from other individuals that either have done what I'm trying to do and have done it successfully, so I can take some of the tips from it. So between the books and also the organizations and the mentorship, I am able to take advantage of the education opportunities to advance the skills that we have. And I think everybody in the construction industry, especially women, can use that same avenue by finding the agencies or the books that can help them to grow within the industry, whatever it is that they're trying to target to.
Thank you. Kathy, would you like to talk about this as well?
Sure. I think the best advice I would give, and I'm also challenging all of us as already established leaders of companies to invite younger people getting into it to an event that you might belong to, but is join networking groups. That can be scary for young people, but it's so important. In a lot of these groups, I think PwC has one, a young leaders a part of it, where they get together just for social networking. I know Cornet has young leaders. Crew, Connecticut, we have young leaders. I belong to also the Connecticut Women in Bio group because we do a lot of bioscience and health science jobs. And I think Connecticut Women's Council was already recommended. There's a marketing group, FMPS. There might be whatever your organization is. There's almost a group for everything you are. There's it's so important, but the networking groups can really help. And what we're trying to do as a company, but also as some of these organizations that I belong to and sit on the board of, AGC for that matter, we're trying to get people to invite as a guest as some people in to just go to an event with them. And I think that can go a long way, with helping to make women in these construction careers at ease. And then they become, meet friends and meet people of their own age. I'm really happy with what I see when I go to events now. The age, I'm old, but I mean, I like that the age is getting younger and younger, and I think that's very promising.
No, and I will add there too, obviously as all of us that are involved in different things, professional in construction or crew or whatever, we do need to bring the younger generation in. I mean, they need to feel comfortable in participating. And I know that we did start with that chapter in Connecticut for professional women in construction. But also here at Markham, I definitely take some of my staff with me to go to an event. They may not want to go at first. Once they go and they start, they feel comfortable. Now they go and they attend. And, that's what you're mentoring them, and you want them to feel comfortable, and they're going to find their own place in the world in whatever profession they choose. But I think that's very important.
Yeah. I agree. I think, and sometimes I'll take more than one, so they just at least there's two of them together. But then I'm purposely not going to some and say, you guys, I'm busy. Can you go? Because it might be good for me not to be around. They don't rather have their boss around. And they get out of their shell even a little more. And I've been really happy with what I've been seeing, both for men and women that work for us. To get out there. But I really think networking groups, the sooner they can start, and then as they get comfortable, sit on a board. You learn so much, and it's a much smaller group. I think that we're always looking for younger people to be on our boards. At Crew, and so it's always good advice once people feel comfortable to join a board.
Yeah, start with a committee first, and then move up to the board.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you should start a committee first, then join the board. So
that's a great opportunity for them, and then they start feel comfortable. And learning and so forth. And they have great ideas too. Really, different generations.
They sure do.
Have some really awesome. Yeah. I learned from them as well. So for certain, there.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
It is. Thank you. I want to go to the last section here is inclusivity and action. And V, I'm going to direct this question at you first. Okay. From your perspective, how does hiring more women benefit a construction company in the broader industry?
Over time, I think we'll see that, and these wonderful my co-speakers, I guess, today have touched base on it over and over again. I think women bring a different perspective to the construction industry, and because we are so small in this big industry, can you imagine what we can do when there's more of us? So I think naturally, just by gravitating toward hiring more women is to see the unknown that I think that could be tremendous. So is the fact that we're going to naturally bring our skills of attention to details, our skills of nurturing, our skills of looking at things from a different perspective than the average. And it's going to be very important, especially now more than ever, because the world is changing so fast at such a fast. You really need that different perspective to be able to navigate all of it. And I think women are always looking for creative ways to make things work. So I would love to see that more and more. And I think it will benefit the industry as a whole in general.
We'll look forward to that, right?
Hmm.
On the next
Yeah.
one, and this one, Sylvia, I'll give this one to you first. Can you discuss a specific instance where gender diversity within a construction team led to a more innovative and successful project outcome?
I think for me, that's every day. Vi touched about it earlier. There are certain things men can do. There's certain things women can do. I know society goes back and forth on this, but the reality is, if you look at basic human anatomy, there's only certain things that we can do. So it only makes sense bringing both men and women to the table, to a project team. They're bringing their diversity, they're bringing their experience, they're bringing their culture, they're bringing the different ways that they think and process information. They're bringing their past experiences, like lessons learned from different projects. And all of this adds value, not only to the project, but to the client, even to the end user. Having a team with all men or even having a team with all women doesn't give the full perspective of ideas and innovation. So I think it's very critical that we consider building our teams in this diverse way. And I think also it's important to show the younger generation, the younger girls, that there's an opportunity here for you. There's room for you here. Something that we haven't really touched on is that as an industry, we're in a labor shortage. And I think that's primarily because we haven't spent enough time investing in the younger generation and the young girls, letting them know, like, you can be an engineer, you can be an architect, you can be a CM. Why not? But I think it's important for young girls to know, okay, yes, I love math, I love science, I love Legos, whatever it is, whatever stage they are at, there's room for you here in the industry. And it's an opportunity for them to grow. And it's an even opportunity for the industry to grow. I remember in the beginning of my career, I was at a private firm, and there I was kind of the first of many things. I was the first PE, I was the first young mom. And because I had built this level of not only trust, but dedication within the firm and in the work that I produced, they were more willing to reassess policies and procedures to cater for my new life. And I think that's important. That's something that even as company owners and in the industry, we need to tap into. Yes, we love to have diverse teams. Yes, we want to see the women be part of our teams. But the minute their lives start changing, it's like, oh, there's no room for you here. And we need to change that and be more accommodating. Not to the sense where it jeopardizes the project, but understanding, like, I can't give you maybe 100% for 28 hours a week, right? Or rather, I shouldn't say 28 hours a week, 40-hour week, but I can't give you my undivided attention outside of work hours, but be flexible with me. Understand that I may have a child to pick up. I may have other responsibilities. I may be on the board. And I think being flexible as organizations and understanding that women wear many hats, and they are also willing to be the engineer, the CM, the project manager, the superintendent, the project executive, the CEO, the COO of the company. Give them the chance to do that and be understanding, be flexible.
Thank you, Sylvia. I think that's definitely well said on that one. Because we could definitely add to every part of it. We could be part of the team, even though if we're not there 100% of the day, because we have other duties, but for certain. Kathy, would you like to take that question as well?
Sure. I mean, I think it was very well said on both counts, and Dee hit on it earlier too. About I think it's not sometimes I feel like with this whole topic, some people will get backlash. Well, just women that can't be women everywhere, women, right? No, we're not saying that, right? I think the diverse teams, different perspectives in any construction project is going to benefit the project. And let me give you because it asks for specific instance. We were working on a project in a commercial kitchen, and like no one was considering, well, all right, who's using what? So what are they? They're standing for usually 6 to 8 hours at least at a time. I'm like, well, but some of the flooring options were not that conducive in that area for standing. Just think about it, and so I think just from perspective, you can change it and still say we can still get quality form, but let's give one on this area where they're standing a lot. A lot of them are women, and women that are going to be in this commercial kitchen, not just women, men too, but they all need, a little more give in the floor. Let's consider that. So just that different perspective that might not have come out if it wasn't, women in there or just a more diverse team in the construction project.
Thank you. I'm taking a look at, those are our questions we have. I'm looking to see if there are any questions from the audience. I haven't seen anything come through. Kristen, I don't see anything else coming through there. All right. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone. I thought this was a great discussion. I think we all learned a little bit from it. And this concludes our program. And I hope that today this discussion empowers everyone to achieve the most in your career and to always be ready to take the next step. So, any other questions from anyone?
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. I'm glad you were able to join, Kathy. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.